start by getting first reactions. I'll start with you, Ashutosh. You've been a critic of Arvind Kejriwal from time to time. How do you see these developments?
It's not being a critique of Arvind Kejriwal or anybody. I'm a journalist and I'm free to express my opinions on any subject or any leader. See, this case is a very, very curious case for the simple reason because Supreme Court has neither pronounced any judgment about the arrest because Arvind Kejriwal has challenged the arrest itself. The Supreme Court has not pronounced any judgment on that. Neither the Supreme Court has given any permanent bail to the Arvind Kejriwal. It has only given an interim bail for 21 days. What does it mean? It means very, very clearly that the government and the enforcement agencies and others should get a clear message that that if they arrest anybody for political reasons, then you are basically playing with the democracy of the country. You are basically trying to obliterate the level playing field. And as a political, as a democracy, as a participatory democracy, a country cannot afford this. They have clearly asked a question 6 months back. You had the same material evidences. After 6 months back, you had the similar. There is no addition in that material evidences. But you decided to arrest him at the time of when the elections were about to begin. Now, is it not obliterating the level playing field which is required for any political party to do this? So it is a clear message to the not only to the BJP, not only to the Prime Minister, not only to the agencies, but to each and everybody or any vindictive government who wants to stop opposition from fighting a good battle and obliterating the level playing field.
If you say that it is a clear message, just before I open it up, I see Akshay is also here. Welcome and congratulations, Akshay. Big relief for the party you support. If you say it's a clear message on democracy and for vindictive governments, then are we at least acknowledging that our democracy is well and functioning? Because we can't make both arguments. You can't say democracy is khatre mein hai, but also say that this is a message to uphold democracy.
So even the Putin's Russia also say that the democracy is functioning over there. Even the Erdogan's the Turkey is also saying that the democracy is functioning over there. Even in the Biden time, the democracy in America is also functioning there. So what is the degree of democracy? Barkha, you have been such a fantastic journalist. We all have almost a parallel careers in this country. You believe that what democracy meant before 2014 and what democracy has come till this? Yes, we are speaking freely, but how much and how long we do not know. The fact of the matter is that this has become a rule under this regime that you try to finish opposition either by hook or by crook. Either you adopt them, either you co-opt them, or you put them in jail. The court has given a clear message that yes, I am not pronouncing any judgment on the merit of the case. Neither I am giving him this. But if you try to put obstructions when the election is on, and you basically try to create an uncomfortable situation for the opposition, I'm not going to tolerate this. And this will be a precedence for the Hemant Soren also. And I believe that he and his party should go and should say, I am the president of the party, and I need to go out and campaign for my party because that is what the democracy demands, and that should be honored, and that's what I believe so.
Okay, let's open this up. I'm sure Hitesh and Percival will have things to say. Sanjay, I can see you driving somewhere. If possible, do park at least to join our program. Akshay, a quick response. First reactions from the Aam Aadmi Party. Ashutosh says it's a clear message. It upholds democracy. It makes the point about essential freedoms. The Enforcement Directorate had argued that the right to campaign is not a fundamental right. The Supreme Court has very clearly recognized that these are exceptional circumstances. It's an election on, and Arvind Kejriwal does have the right to go out and campaign. They've not got into whether it's a fundamental right or not. But one of the reasons they've granted this interim bail is to allow Mr. Kejriwal to campaign. First responses.
Barkha, I was hearing Ashutosh speak and you countering him that at least now can we say that India is a functioning democracy. The problem is that with this dictatorial government, every little victory has to be snatched after immense effort from the opposition. And you have seen what has happened with Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's case. 3 phases of the election are already over, and he had to go to the Supreme Court after going through multiple levels of challenges at the trial court, to the district court, to the high court, and then to the Supreme Court. And finally, the Supreme Court did give him his relief that he deserved. So why did the BJP government force an three-time elected chief minister to chase after the judiciary when the matter was so clear cut that the Supreme Court has clearly laid out today? That there is no case against him, there is no arrest against, there is no charge sheet against him. The Supreme Court goes into details of how this case has progressed as well. It acknowledges that the case was filed over 2 years ago. It acknowledges that this investigation has been ongoing for several years, and even for almost 1.5 years, the ED did not even name him in any of its summons. So, if the Supreme Court could see what is happening in broad daylight, why did the Enforcement Directorate force this entire situation on India's democracy? This is a big question mark on the Enforcement Directorate, and therefore, I think it actually gives fillip to the argument of the opposition parties that the Enforcement Directorate and the investigative agencies have become very clear political tools in the hands of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And today's interim bail by the Supreme Court is a huge, huge victory for the opposition parties and Aam Aadmi Party in particular, because it not
Okay.
only does it bolster our arguments against the investigative authorities, but Arvind Kejriwal ji is a massive opposition leader with a huge following in the across
I'll,
India.
I'll, I, I'll come to the politics of it in a moment. I just want to also look at the legal dimension of this. Hitesh, you tweeted today saying that the interim bail is no legal. It's not a statement on the guilt or the innocence of Mr. Kejriwal, and to that extent, it's not making a legal argument. You heard Ashutosh make the point that actually it is a message to what he calls vindictive governments. Point one. Point two, the judgment. The court does question the timing of the arrest. The court does say that there was 1.5 years. This could have been done either before or after the elections. To that extent, the Enforcement Directorate's timing has certainly been put under scrutiny. As a BJP leader, but also as a senior lawyer, how do you respond, Hitesh?
Well, I think today's order is unprecedented and shocking. For the first time, a Supreme Court has created a special class for Arvind Kejriwal. Today, Aam Aadmi Party should change its name as Khas Aadmi Party, because the Supreme Court has made unprecedented, a class has been carved out for Kejriwal that purely for the purpose of campaigning, he should be let out. I ask a question. I mean, I heard Ashutosh also that today this is the order or a vindication for democracy. But then what is the difference between Hemant Soren and Kavita? They have been also in the court. By the same logic, Supreme Court, without pronouncing on the merits of the case, wants to release Arvind Kejriwal on the bail, but not release the other leaders on the bail. So I don't think this is an order. This is a special precedent and a special privilege created for a privileged person like Arvind Kejriwal. We should not read any message beyond that. It is a special.
So you're upset. So you're upset with the Supreme Court. Are you upset with the Supreme Court?
In my view, Supreme Court has opened Pandora's box. Tomorrow, how is Supreme Court going to answer a farmer or a business person? Tomorrow, a farmer also who is accused of a heinous crime, as Mr. Kejriwal has been arrested. Tomorrow he will say that I have to go for my sowing, or there is my harvesting season. I should be released on bail. Tomorrow Amritpal Singh Sandhu will come to the court and he says, I'm contesting the election. I should be released on bail. Make no mistake, Arvind Kejriwal has been told he cannot function as a chief minister. He cannot sign the files. So when the Supreme Court passes such order, Supreme Court is also mindful of the fact that a person who's been charged of such heinous crime when he is facing such serious charges, he cannot even occupy his office. So I mean, by what face Arvind Kejriwal is going to go in front of the public that I cannot go into the office, I cannot step into my office, I cannot sign any files. I mean, with what face he is going to go before the public? The person who used to claim for every offense, or if there is any single charge against a politician, इनको जेल में डाल दो, इनको इसमें डाल दो, या सोनिया गांधी को जेल में डाल दो, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. Now the same person is begging the court, oh, please make a special class for me, make a justice excuse for me, today what he has done is he has sought a favor as a politician, and I think the Supreme Court will.
Barkha, can I?
Yeah. Just 1 second. So you are saying you're angry or disappointed, Hitesh, as a very senior lawyer, but also a BJP leader with the Supreme Court?
Well, I'm saying this order is very unprecedented, and it is opening Pandora's box, for which the Supreme Court will have to answer, because Hemant Soren also came to the court, Kavita also came to the court. So why special privileges is being granted to Aam Aadmi Party? I mean,
Okay,
Arvind
okay.
Kejriwal is clearly proving that he is not an Aam Aadmi Party or a leader of an Aam Aadmi Party.
Uh,
He
uh,
is the prince who wants special privileges from the Supreme Court,
Ashutosh,
the leader of the
Yeah,
Khas
yeah.
Aadmi Party.
Barkha,
Ashutosh,
this is basically a brazenly casting aspersion on the Supreme Court verdict on the Supreme Court, because it is not the Arvind Kejriwal has every legal right and the constitutional right to go to the court and beg and petition. It is up to the Supreme Court to endorse that. The Supreme Court today has agreed. So is BJP and the lawyer trying to say that the Supreme Court has the two rules, one for the Khas Admi and another for the Aam Aadmi Party? If that is what they are saying, that means they are casting aspersion on the judges, and basically
okay.
let me also tell you. I want to remind my BJP friend that when Ram Rahim is given parole, who is a killer, who is a rapist, for
Okay.
not once, not twice. Where was the morality of the BJP? What the BJP was saying? Now you're casting aspersion on the Supreme Court. You've forgotten
Okay.
what the Haryana government has done.
I think I have to come in only because I need to get Sanjay and Percival to speak. I promise. I know Hitesh, you're trying to make a point, but everyone's on a, let the others speak. But I'll go to Sanjay and then to Percival. Sanjay, quickly.
Well, this is unprecedented, yes, but it has set a correct precedent simply to prevent the Indian Republic from going the way of Pakistan, where Imran Khan was held in prison, charges were levied one after the other. He was kept in prison. You had elections thereafter, and then the election results were managed. We have refused to go the Pakistan way. We have refused to go the Russia way of Navalny, and the court definitely knew what was at stake here today. As far as these charges are concerned, these are not they are nowhere near a trial. The investigation, if any, can continue unhampered. So the point is, what are you sending a message that we can put down any opposition leader in prison, keep him in prison for as long as we want, and that there is nobody whom we have to answer for? Today, the law has stood up and the law has said, no, you can't do that. There is the law, and it has been interpreted by the Supreme Court so that we can have an election where everybody participates. Now, this point about the chief minister not signing files, that is also a precedent which the Supreme Court had long ago done in Indira Gandhi's case. When Indira Gandhi had been unseated by the Allahabad High Court and she came to the Supreme Court, it was Justice Krishna Iyer who gave a conditional stay, saying that she could continue to be a member of parliament, but she would not vote or take a salary until her appeal was heard.
Okay.
The Supreme Court has today said that, look, there are very many important questions in Arvind Kejriwal's petition. We have to give a detailed reply, a detailed judgment. That will come in its own time. Right now, we have an election on our head, have an even contest. That is why we are we are giving him temporary bail.
Okay. I'm only rushing all of you because you're all on tight deadlines. So Percival, come in on everything you've heard so far.
Right. So, Barkha, last time we spoke, I had mentioned that the timing of the arrest is something that could appear a little troublesome. Now, the reason why I had made that comment at that time is that there is a decision already there of the Supreme Court, the People's Union for Civil Liberties, which has clearly said that democracy is part of the basic structure of the Constitution. It is also said that a free and fair elections is a feature of democracy. And like any other lawyer in the country, I think all of us have to stand up for the basic structure of the Constitution. The Constitution, I've said this before also on your show, it has stood us in very good stead, especially in the difficult times, in the emergency, etc. Now, having said that, I think this particular point has weighed very heavily on the Supreme Court. But at the same time, I must tell you that, look, it is very wrong to politicize this issue. Why am I saying this? First of all, he has not been acquitted. The acquittal will follow. Please also remember that he is right now in a petition saying that the arrest is illegal. That is yet to be decided. So therefore, I think it is a little premature on the part of Mr. Kejriwal and his colleagues to declare victory. And in fact, I saw the order just about 5-10 minutes before we logged on, and the order does restrain. It says here, and I'm quoting, he will not make any comment with regard to his role in the present case. Right? So that is a very clear restriction. Now, why has this been imposed? Because I think the learned SG made this plea specifically to the court, because the court, and when you're electioneering, you cannot have false views, right? So you cannot go to the people and say, that this is all nonsense and I'm being detained, as we have heard on this show as well. The jury is still out on this. So I completely reject any of these propositions that have been put forward. Let us just wait. All that has happened today is rightly so. The man has been allowed to participate in the election process. That is all. Now he cannot misuse that to pontificate.
But he can talk. He can talk about the case in general terms. That's what the initial sort of updates from the court said, or is that not allowed as well?
I'm looking at the order, Barkha. I mean, I just printed it out, a few minutes before, and I'm again quoting the following conditions: the bail, bond, etc., which are the usual ones. He will not make any comment with regard to his role in the present case. So he cannot go to he is now in the Adalat of the people. Now, in the name of free and fair elections. Now, in the name of free and fair elections, can he go and tell them that I had nothing to do with this, that I was innocent, that I'm being locked up, and this is Putin revisited in India? I don't think so.
Okay, that's an